Hello, Cole. We saved recording for you to attend. This is September 26th. It's Monday, the C4C Events Planning Meeting. And welcome. We will go over the events for this week and try to get some planning done to set up our next meetings and make sure they go very well. We've already warmed up. We've said, everybody said hello, and we're just now saying hello to you, YouTube. I hope that you're doing well. Nori was just talking about one of our big initiatives, and just called the Way of Counsel. And so, Nori, would you take us through what we might expect on Wednesday when we do this new facilitation technique?
Yep. So on Wednesday, we're going to kick off the Cardano4Climate Community Council. I put a link to the document here in chat. I'll do it again for the people who are just joining, and I've added it to the agenda as well. So basically, the C4C Community Council uses an ancient yet modern practice called Way of Counsel. And it's really intended to be a tool for us to be able to share from the deepest parts of our being what we need to share, and to create a safe container for that to happen. And it's a little bit different than normal meetings. The intent is really for us to be able to speak our truth, but also to be able to bear witness to other people speaking their truth. So the way it usually works is we'll list out 4 intentions of counsel, and those are, one is to speak from the heart. So it does involve a little bit of courage sometimes. It definitely is honest and authentic, and really you're speaking to the group, but you're speaking your viewpoint, your thoughts, your feelings, what you're going through, anything you want to share that's coming up for you at that moment. 2 is listening from the heart, and 2 is a really big one because this is what we'll be doing mostly, because you're not going to be talking the whole time. You're going to be listening 95% of the time. So really it's turning off social media, turning off Telegram, Discord, any distractions, and just being there 100% present for whoever is speaking at the moment. So that's one of the big different parts. And a lot of community meetings, people are multitasking and doing a bunch of stuff, but we're asking whoever shows up here to not multitask, to be present, to bear witness, and to really listen with an open heart to what people are saying. 3, the third intention is being lean of expression. So that really means saying what you need to say, but no more. Don't monopolize the floor, don't carry on, don't tell a story unless it's super relevant to what you're trying to communicate. There's a lot of people who might want to speak, so try not to dominate the space, but say what you need to say and then step back from the stage. And then I'm going to backtrack a little bit to listening from the heart. One of the big things from listening from the heart is to listen. So there's no crosstalk. If somebody says something and has the floor, nobody else should be interjecting, asking questions, following up. You're just there to listen. And then when it's your turn to speak, you can either respond if that's really what's coming up for you, or move on and talk about what's really going on for you. So it's not supposed to be a conversation. It's really each person is speaking their truth as you go around the circle. And then number 4 is spontaneity. So also a big practice is to really listen and not be thinking about what you're going to say when it's your turn. And this can be really difficult, especially if you're next. You're like, oh God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And then you stop listening to what the person before you is actually saying. So really be present and listen. And when it's your turn to speak, use that as an opportunity to actually look deep within and speak what's happening at that moment. And don't be planning for it as the rock goes around the circle. And of course, there's a 5th intention of confidentiality. So this will not be recorded. What happens in council stays in council. And if people bring up something that's personal and stuff, please don't bring it up to them again outside of circle unless they invite you to or welcome you to have that conversation. Circle is meant to be a safe space. So we shouldn't be talking about what happened in circle when the circle is over. So those are kind of the 5 mechanisms. And then basically what we'll do, because there's probably going to be a lot of people there, one of the ways of holding circle is called a fishbowl, where there is a people in the circle who are talking, and then there's a larger circle outside of them who don't speak. They're just there to witness. That's called the fishbowl. But since we're doing our first one, we may do one called the spiral. And the purpose of the spiral is similar to fishbowl, but the people who speak, once you speak, you move back into the outer circle to bear witness to what's being said. And then somebody from the larger circle can step into the inner circle. And then you have this flowing in and out of people who are actually in the circle speaking. So I guess we'll say, if you speak, please step back from the circle, lower your hand, and then wait until 2 or 3 or more people have spoken before re-entering the circle to give everyone a chance to participate if they're being moved to say something. So that's kind of how we'll do it. And actually, I think the timing of this will be really great, because we should get our funding results. We were mentioning this the day before we do this. And then there'll be some people there who are super excited because they got funded, others that'll be really disappointed because they didn't get funded. So it might be a really nice opportunity for the community to support one another and celebrate our successes and really support those who didn't get funded if they need that support, just to build that resilience and keep going and try again in Fund 10 or change their plan or do something. But yeah, we're here to support one another. So I think it'll be a really good opportunity to enter that space and let the community know that you're supported and people are here for you. So that's kind of a high level summary of how it'll work.
Excellent. What do we again? Yep. That's going to be Wednesday, the day after tomorrow, the 28th, Wednesday the 28th. What sort of things do we need to prepare in order to have a stellar Way of Counsel C4C meeting?
I will do the council facilitation. It'd be nice if other people that are interested in playing that role to read the document and to just be there, to be able to do it as well. It would be great if many people in this community knew how to be the council facilitator, and just be familiar with the 4 intentions +1, and then the different forms that it could take, because I think it's a useful tool, especially when there's tension or crisis. It's a really nice way to get people into a circle and have some really heart-to-heart communications. And that's why it's called practice, because we practice when it's easy so that when it's hard, we have something that we can use, that we're familiar with.
Right. Okay. Oh, and I do want to say, without really sidetracking, because I know that the facilitators collective, there's a group of facilitators that I can share with the group and say, hey, look, here's a new facilitation model, and you might get some like support in that way, or people that are interested, like me, that are interested in facilitating in these different ways. That would be cool. And definitely we can read the doc. Will it work? Because I've seen it with like a Miro board, but then that can kind of be like, like an in and out, like people that are on the Miro board. In your facilitation, will you use some type of, will it be just like on Zoom? And
we'll just use Zoom for this one, and we'll use the raised hands to signify the speaking order. And then whoever's next in line has the virtual stick or rock or whatever, the talking device.
Right. So the raised hand becomes the talking device. Yeah. Okay, cool. Have you done that very often? Is it like something? Something you've done quite a bit, or in different communities?
Yeah, we've run it in a number of different communities. My local Zen center uses this as a mechanism to talk and do stuff within the core team, the priests and the senior members of the Zen center. And we started doing this with Swarm veterans. We actually have one later today. And we're doing that on a monthly cadence as well. And yeah, so it can be very, very effective. I've run board meetings this way too when there's a lot of conflict, because it prevents the escalating back and forths. Because if you want to respond and you're seventh in line, it gives you a lot of time to actually cool down and get recentered before you speak. So it can be a really helpful mechanism.
And then that listening, like really listening and not preparing, because that seems like that's always, whenever there's like a go around the room, whether it's introduce yourself or like give your talk or something, man, I just get so nervous, and I just think it's hard for me to listen because I'm constantly like trying to practice like what I'm gonna say. And then it's beautiful to sort of get the like, hey, you don't have to do that. Just really try to listen, and then, whatever's coming up, and if what's coming up for you is like, I'm just rehearsing, then, and then just sort of sit with it and let that out. Yeah, so I'm stoked to get this Way of Counsel in. One thing that we may want to do is try to get, we could try to get some outreach. So try to get some new members in, meaning that I do think that it will be right after the voting, say, hey, look, come and share your truth, or, let out your feelings, or sort of do your, like, come and be supported and give support here at the C4C meeting. And now I'm just visualizing it. How would the meeting flow go? Would it be like, because I'm assuming we'll want to like, hey, you're at a C4C weekly meetup, and maybe, do the intro, and then just say, okay, now we're going to begin the Way of Counsel, or how should we get into it?
I think we can do the normal intro and have a few slides to describe C4C and what we're about and the different community events and how to participate. And then it'd be great to reinforce the wall of appreciation and spend a few minutes putting up some appreciation notes. And then, like, at the usual time, we would break into like a guest speaker or stuff. We start the Way of Counsel for the last half hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is that we need.
Okay. Yeah, I like that our appreciation board got sort of people took it on. I think that was a good initiative for sure. Okay, so yeah, we can, and that would be a good, I have a feeling that after this, the appreciation board will be used, because, in that heart to heart sort of space, like, I think that like good things, and like people will support, and then want to show appreciation. And then, so yeah, like it'll just be like a larger, like, spotlight proposal spot, like so just basically take that last bit, and then we can finish. Yeah, that'd be good. And are our meetings, do we want to go like the 90 minutes, so starting, basically ending 30 minutes before the time? Yeah. Okay. So, and then yeah, so basically it'll just be a sort of like a featured proposal, and then just goes through the breakout time. And what we could do is we could make, try this for an idea. We could make sort of a pause at the top of the hour and say, this is our normal pausing breakout time, when we would normally cut off the recording and go into breakout rooms. And then we just do some of our admin work. I was like, hey, come and join us, or Cardano Summit, or, these initiatives, et cetera. And then we just resume the Way of Counsel. Could that be done? or just let it start about 30 minutes in and then just let it go for the hour?
It might be good to have a time limit so that we can just have a solid opening, middle, and then close it up. So I guess for this first one,
yeah, it's just something to think about.
yeah, let's check the energy, but I'll try to do it within half an hour or 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, that should be no problem. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I feel good about the prep for Wednesday's meeting. Let's move on to other general C4C business. What do you think?
Sounds good.
In tomorrow's Tuesday team meeting, what sort of things should we talk about? Does anybody have a burning
website?
Website, nice. Okay. And I always sort of put that one in like with documentation.
Mm-hmm.
I did one of the things that I've tried to like circle around to is diataxis. It's a format or a way to think about documentation, and documentation being like, you know, like what you would get when you click on the documentation tab of some proposal or project. So it's generally like FAQs and tutorials and maybe even blog posts or you know, whatever. This model sort of explains or gives a framework for what to put in and why, you know, what to document, what to sort of publish. And I put that on, I did some initial brainstorming and put that on the Miro board. So I might, you know, tomorrow's meeting, I might want 5 minutes of diataxis. What is diataxis? Would that be agreeable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so there's a Miro board there with a bunch of with some brainstorming stuff that went on. What about from the gallery? It feels like it's hear from you guys. I know Juanita's a little under the weather, but Cole, Yoram, Simon.
Happy Monday!
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Hola, Yoram. Hi, Yoram.
Hola, señora. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú, Yoram? I'm in Spanish.
Sí, hablamos en español. Dale.
Okay. Happy Monday day.
Sí. Feliz lunes.
We did, yeah. We had a new moon. Is that what Feliz Lunes means?
No, lunes it's Monday. But by the way, so we send. It's very important. I mean, for that we send the monthly the final report for Fund 7 on the hub. And one of the things that we said that we will do there, and we did less good, is the translation. So really great to have you know, Spanish speaking people here, and something that we need to improve. Yeah.
That's I definitely.
But I have another question for you. Today, we speak about moon and lunes. When is the new moon start this month? Do you know?
It was yesterday, so we're still in the full yeah.
So the new moon started yesterday night, basically, yeah. And yesterday, yeah. Anyway, so that's very good. Yeah, my suggestion is, again, I mean, we somehow, I don't know what we can do in parallel, but to think about the summit somehow.
Yeah.
That's kind of
yeah, we should have the summit every week, some kind of push it forward a little bit more.
So what, yeah, and the things that we know about the summit, we've got the local,
So one thing they are doing now, sorry to stop you,
No, go
they
for
are
it.
doing, Cardano Foundation is pushing a lot the nomination of different projects and people. So I think that will be good to push to the community and say, yeah, think about, first of all, we should think about, you know, a project to nominate and promote. Whatever of the project or several projects that we want to nominate, Little Fish, Open Litter Map, and whatever projects we want to nominate. And second, I mean, we should send into the community and tell them, yeah, I mean, nominate projects and communities that you think that you are good. I think Afia came last week and say, yeah, I want to nominate Cardano4Climate. I mean, wonderful. But yeah, I mean, that's, I think, something. So we need to push basically to the community that they can be active in the nomination process, suggesting people and projects.
Okay, cool.
And we're also trying to create the global stage for impact.
Yeah.
So we need people from different countries, languages, town halls, ambassadors, whoever wants to participate. We need to start collecting names and getting people excited to connect with local projects and impact related things that they can invite to the stage to present and meet the community.
So in this vein, and I'm sort of getting a feel for Monday events planning as like agenda setting, you know, for our events. But one thing that I would love to do is, because it is about time zones and languages under the bigger sort of group of inclusivity, with this global stage for impact, what we can do is, just because there is data, and if you think about a community-based organization as a data structure, each of us has a parameter, time zone and native language, or, you know, language proficiency. And I would love to collect that about our community, and then I'd love to display it. And that would be the first step to sort of organizing the global community, you know, impact stage. So, and how I might go about doing that and what kind of support I would need. I mean, we could mention it on the Telegram and like try to like, hey, come to this mural board and put your thing, or just, hey, just tell me what your time zone and language is. And then we can just put that onto a spreadsheet and then display it visually on a map. And then we could say, hey, look, do you know someone in your time zone to be in the global stage, as we try to wrap the, you know, cover the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did something similar like that in about a year ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's time to do it again. Maybe we could do it as a Google form and maybe get it translated into several languages, but have them sign up and say, do you want to present on stage? Do you want to host the stage? Do you want to help organize, or all three? And then we can start to collect a list of people who want to participate in different ways.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a great way to sort of collect all that info, and then like get it translated, you know, and that could be, you know, I think about the partnerships. It's like a partnership. It's just like, you know, give and receive support, give and get support. And when we need support, like say we need support from the Asian, you know, the Eastern Town Hall, and we say, hey, look, could we translate this into Vietnamese? Could we translate this into Japanese? And then could you support us, you know, as we support them? You know, it's just like we start the reciprocal flow, because that would be, I think that they would be, you know, happy to be involved, you know, mutually supportive. So yeah, let's do that. I think that I could lend effort in that.
Cool. Yeah, and I had a quick chat with Seira Yun, and he's also talking with Yuta, who's a Japanese ambassador that does the Tokyo meetups, and they may be interested in participating. So we'll at least have a Japanese connection. It looks like we have Spanish here. Getting a bunch of languages and time zones would be amazing. So
A friend, thank you, Danny. A friend from Latin is looking for real-time translation options for all meetings in many languages.
that would be amazing. We used to do town halls with multi-languages and real-time translation, but it was a huge person power effort to get people in and set up as the translators.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I listened in. Has anyone else listened in on in a foreign language town hall? It seems like I listened in on a Spanish one last week, and it was interesting because I have a little bit of Spanish, because of the similarities, and every once in a while you'll hear like Project Catalyst or something, and I wonder, like, I don't know, I just wonder how to support other, and it could be that full-time, that real-time just outlining. It's just like, oh right, here's somebody that's just keyframes of like what the conversation is about in your an understandable language for you, would help to sort of like break down that barrier just a little bit, just so that you kind of know, so you're following in real time. So real-time translation services for meeting, or some way to get like foreign language participation. Foreign language, different language. Yeah, I'm gonna write down in translation, real-time meetings, because it is nice to like be in another space. It's something that is afforded to us. Like we don't have to like be estranged from these other communities. But I know that sometimes it can be a little frustrating if you for an hour. It could be a meditative thing, just so you just like don't know anything that's going on. Okay, so we've talked about the summit and this nomination of folks, and like collecting time zones and languages from the community as a part of the summit. That would really be I think a first step in the planning process for the global stage for impact. Do we know do we know what's another first step or another way to get? I'd like to get someone from the organizers to just say like, hey, we're here and with you. Like how do we, like an impact lead generation, definitely. I want to talk about impact lead generation this week, because that is the phase of Catalyst that we're in. We can always look to the phase of Catalyst, just like we can always look to the phase of the moon and the phase of the sun, the season, the yearly season and the monthly season. And right now we're in the impact lead generation phase. Does that make sense? So that might be something to put on the agenda for this week.
We can definitely go through that, and we can say actually there's 3 leads that already should get finally approved, but getting approved. So it means already people are starting to get money. There were already 3 calls with different leads. So they're getting approved now with the summary report. So we can show that will be good. And if more people want to be part of it.
Cool. Yeah. Because I do have a bit of an angle, because what I really want to do is get like impact lead generation and then move us into this this event, the on-chain your impact event. And I'm hoping that those leads will sort of present, or that's where I see that happening. It's just like, hey, I didn't know anything about Cardano, or I was interested, and then these are the things that got me interested, and that's a great YouTube content, you know, for like, oh, here's my entry into it, and into, like, maybe they make a proposal in Catalyst, maybe they don't, you know, maybe they stick around for C4C, you know, community events, maybe they don't. But yeah, that might be cool. Okay, Nori, we see. Take it easy, man.
Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Nori.
Yeah, and that really could be, I mean, all these phases go at the same time. But yeah, the event part for this phase is about bringing people, outreach to people that are either technologists, you know, that's kind of the way I break it down, is like they've got a tool, and they want to like bring it to the impact place, you know, like they're like, oh, we see the environmental regulation coming, or the environmental crisis coming, like that. If you're not taking account for sort of environmental impact or social impact, then you know you're losing out, and we want to like bolster that part. So that's for technologists, people that are already in the impact space, and they're like, look, technology is not going away. There's this new technology of blockchain. We want to be involved. And then that's a technologist, environmentalists, and then activists, you know, people that are in NGOs or whatever. Anyway, we can get and mix all those folks up. And that's this, I think that's the zone we're in, you know, the phase of the Project Catalyst that we're in. I'm curious if they will give us an actual start date. I mean, I think that they said that by the end of October, we should be into Fund 10.
Yeah. And another, please, Juanita. Daniel, yeah, someone spoke. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to speak about the events, local events for the Cardano Summit, but let's keep talking about this and I can talk about it later if you want.
It's just, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say, is that we do, I mean, we can have like impact generation, impact lead generation, and this next event are connected. And so that's sort of what I want to like sort of shift into. But then, and then that gets us into the things that have been kind of a ball of yarn, and that's the roles and the tasks and how to put on one of these events, which you know, it's like I've been focused on it for the last 3 months, and it's yeah, I don't, I'm maybe a little too close to it, so I'm hoping that more support will come in, and that will, you know, and it might take the form of just like really working on the like the event, like the documentation, you know. It's like getting back into the documentation and doing another iteration of like, okay, these are the tasks that need to happen, these are the people that need to do them, but I don't want to do them all by myself or in a small team. I'd like to get a bigger group.
Maybe on Wednesday, we reach out to the community with 2 things. One, with that, who wants to come on board and help. I mean, we have a process, and who wants to do that. Obviously here, on if someone wants to help you, and then together with that also, I want to stress out again the onboarding funded proposal.
Yeah.
That and I left it here in the chat. I would love that someone that is not kind of from really the core team all the time and just coming on board. I mean, even you, Daniel, or Juanita, or anyone else that wants to take the leadership on that. There is budget there. It's a very nice one. And it will be good to start involving more people. That's my view on that. But otherwise, because we need to do it in October, and we need to start doing it. We're
Yeah.
3 months late with that.
We got funded from Fund 8 for that?
This one is Fund 8, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a simple one. Yeah, I think it's not a complex one. I mean, it's based on a survey that we need to do, and it's part of the onboarding process, kind of. So we can do it as Cardano4Climate, but we need someone to lead that.
Yeah, and it fits like going up the synthesis, you know, going up the chain. It's a part of onboarding. It's a part of something that we always do. Same with events, you know, like it's just like, hey, are you new here? Like this is a way that you can participate. And the proposal is pretty clear. Like the plan is laid out. So like the role is laid out. Could it be more, you know, like, could it be more granular? Like how could we support someone taking the leadership of the proposal? That's sort of the question. And then what's the next step for that? You know,
and I think we put bounties on that and so on, but I'm saying I think we put already bounty on it and DRAP, but I don't know how many people look on the bounties on DRAP, right? I mean, it's one thing to put, another thing. I will announce it. Yeah, please.
I just talked with Daniel real quick, and him and I can take that proposal and take the lead for that. We're gonna meet after this anyway, so we can kind of talk about it and make a plan.
I think that will be great, and I would love. I mean, again, I mean, it's great to Daniel that you are getting more and more involved, and it will be great that you take a lead and present it, and you know, and together with Cole, obviously, that will be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm just I reached out to the lead of the Cardano Summit here in Mexico, and he wants me to take over of the event and like set up all of the talks. And I want it to be really impact driven. I've been reaching out to a lot of projects here in LATAM that are about impact. So I'll try to set up all of these, the onboarding, the impact onboarding, the lead generation also, to take it into account into that.
And we can add to that the questionnaire part, right? So you just, again, just to sit and do it. It's not a complex one. So that will be wonderful. It's great. And great that you are pushing impact within the Mexico. It's wonderful.
Perfect.
Juanita, you are based also in Mexico? ¿Estás en México también o no? ¿Dónde estás?
No. I am from Colombia.
Ah, mejor. Scherzo, laughing. No, I'm kidding.
I'm so far of Mexico, but
No. It was a joke, Daniel. Okay.
Daniel, you're in Mexico. You're in Mexico City. Is that right? Yeah, you're in the city. Big city.
Yeah.
My wife is Argentinian, and they all laugh on each other. I mean, always. But
because
we had actually last weekend we had friends from Colombia over actually in the house.
really, wow.
Yeah. So friends that we know for many years.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Juanita, are you in a big town in Colombia, or are you out in the countryside?
Oh no, my town is a little town. I know living from Bogota, it's a capital. I'm from living in Manizales, a big city, a little city, sorry, and university city.
Right. Well, maybe if there's I'm just thinking about local events, you know, like maybe there would be a local event there. Because I'm imagining the Cardano Summit folks will support and that there's like a pathway and a process for doing the local events. Daniel, do you know about that? If there are any? Like
I think the LATAM community is pretty much on top of all of the LATAM local events for the Cardano Summit. I can reach out to them, and when we get clear what we really want to present in each local event about C4C, I can talk to them about having that spot in each of the community events. But actually they were the ones that connected me to the one in Mexico City.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because like that's what I expect from, like, if I expect to like go to the Cardano website and there's something that says, hey, do you want to host a local event? And then that they would tell me, and I would fill out the form, and then I'd get an email and they would say, hey, these are the things that you need to do or whatever. And it would be cool if we, C4C had something that says, here's how to participate and become the local representative for C4C at the local event. And just brainstorming, like that could be like a bounty thing. Like you could get gimbals for it, a considerable amount of gimbals, or like just says, let's just like this is, and that you're supported in that. It's like, oh yeah, here's some material, here's some graphics, here's what you can do to say, hey, I'm the official representative of C4C at the local event. I think that would be really cool, actually.
I think that's one of the things I was thinking about. It's going to be hard to have a representative in each one of the local summits, particularly here in LATAM, because I'm here in Mexico. I know a lot of the guys from LATAM are from Argentina, and they're not involved with C4C. But I was thinking, how can we make some talks about C4C with Zoom? Maybe any one of you or anyone in the community that wants to talk about C4C going into Zoom and on the big screen in each local event as well. I'll be representing C4C here in Mexico, but I don't know what's the reach we can have in those local events as well. But setting up a Zoom call in front of everyone, I think that's easy to do, and they'll be open to it.
So I did this similar thing with the gang in Berlin with Dan, and it was pretty cool. Like I just took like 2 minutes to just, maybe it was 5 minutes. I just did like a quick presentation, and I think it gave like a tone. It's just like, oh right, here's this, here's this organization, because we are environmental organization and we are a catalyst organization. We're sort of in between, and for people that are new, like that's the core of our mission at C4C. So yeah, that could really work out great. And so here are the things. I'm mindful of the time. We've got about 10 minutes left, and I do want to hold to the end of at least shut off the recording at the top of the hour. So this week we want to, well, we're going to have on Wednesday the Way of Counsel. And we talked a bit about how that's going to be structured and etc. Basically, just as a normal Wednesday meetup in the beginning, and then right around the time we would do a spotlight, we'll have the Way of Counsel, and let that run all the way through, till to the 90-minute mark. Also tomorrow, the things that we want to set on the agenda, which we can put. These agenda items can also go in that beginning on Wednesday at the meetup. We want to talk about the website, particularly translation, and improving our outreach. We want to talk about the summit, and inside of that, we're going to talk about, just like what we've just been talking about, the local meetings, the virtual events, getting connected to the organizers, and this whole nomination process of projects. Also to talk about tomorrow, to put on the agenda tomorrow, impact generation, the next impact leads event, the onboarding, onboarding your impact. Cole and Daniel, if you guys are ready, maybe you can just kind of initiate the work on the onboarding proposal. That would be cool. And then also to sort of embrace the D work, those things, and promoting the D work bounties and getting people more sort of focused and working on D work. So that's website, translation, summit talk, impact lead generation, events, onboarding, and D-work. So those are the sort of things this week that we've now just sort of agenda set. Where we've sort of said, these are the tasks and projects that we want to talk about this week. How does that feel to everyone? Yeah, thumbs up, cool, cool, cool. Good, good. Yeah, let's wind down. Does anyone else, does you have anything else that you want to share about what might could go on this week? Anyone feeling particularly good or particularly like nervous or dreadful? Okay, are we nervous about the voting? We definitely want to talk about voting.
Very nervous about voting.
What day are they supposed to come out on?
They're supposed to come out tomorrow, but we don't know.
Yeah,
Did they push it back?
It probably won't come out tomorrow. If they said tomorrow, it would be the probabilities are that it won't be tomorrow. So
It'd probably be the first time it never got delayed if it comes out tomorrow.
Right. Probably be delayed.
And yeah,
And,
I think what you were talking about, Newman, earlier about like on Wednesday, if results are announced on when they are announced, to talk to a community about how to move on if you were successful or not successful, like what are the next steps?
Yep.
Because people might be a little confused.
Yep. And the beauty, yeah. And there's like a lot of like psychological things, but then also very like real things. Like, okay, if you're funded, you're gonna have to go through this proof of life process that's organized through the challenge teams and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're not funded, then you have to make the decision, like, you know, how can you read the thing and how to redo your proposal? You want a new proposal, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, there's both like philosophical and physical, like things that are, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I definitely think we can bring that up, and it'll probably happen in the way of counsel, but I think that that's not really an agenda setting thing. I think we just sort of speak, but we can definitely add that into upcoming agenda stuff, like what to do after, what next. For funded and non-funded. Cool. Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to YouTube. Thank you for spending this quality time with us, and we will talk to you later. Bye.